Rich, what's up? Trying to make a new mold for my tail section of my swim bait. This has been a royal pain in my ass. I've oriented it just as Kyle, what's up, dude? Kyle, how long would it take me to get decent enough at CAD to do anything that's actually usable? How was the smallmouth trip? I've been eagerly waiting. AJ, how was your trip? Everybody's been on trips, summer trips. How was the Canada? Let's see. I think I'm going to go straight down. Up a little bit. That should give me how much? Oh, yeah, that'll be enough. Really not blanks, just molds, Kyle. Like if I could make the inverse of what, like if I could make this to pour silicone on top of. Is that advanced? To where I just need to add like sprue holes and like keys for the mold to line up. That kind of thing. Like a year? Jeremy, thanks, man. I got to get some, I got to get me another mold made. About a year of using it daily for a minimum of 2 hours. 2 hours a day for a year. It's not terrible. Not terrible. Not terrible. All right, let's see. Would taking like school classes help speed the process up? Had to wear a jacket for 2 days. Oof. Wouldn't mind going to night school. God, I could shit and get if I could do that, dude. The problem is, Kyle, I think once I gained that skill set, Morgan, yes, correct. Not getting the stuff, getting the skill set in order to do it, like learning CAD, taking some class or something. The problem I see with myself doing that is that I probably would never get anything done because I just want to sit around and I'd have an idea and be like, ooh, let's see if I can make this. Ooh, let's see if I can draw this up. Let's see if I can do this. And I feel like it would maybe make me less productive. SolidWorks or Rhino? That's true, Jeremy. I mean, this shit works. It's just I don't. I can be a bit of a perfectionist at times, and little bullshit and human error really drives me nuts. And I'm at the point in life right now where I don't have time to be as anal as I would like to. So I have to like learn to live with it, and I don't want to. You know what I mean? I haven't talked to Jake at Row in a while, but hell, every time I see him post, he's like, "Oh, we're taking on new work for 2024 or whatever." I'm like, well, I'm not even gonna message that dude. But I might be on the priority list since I'm a old customer. I don't know. Maybe that's just for new people. Pawpaw Grigsby. I guess I could get Philip to do it. I hadn't talked to Philip in a while. I guess he's not with 6 Cents anymore. Doing his own thing, running his own design company. All right, let's check this out. Scanning and 3D printing, I would think would be fast. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I've got all the like CAD files and stuff for this shit. I would just need to learn how to like lay that into a chop it in half and lay it flat and use half of the bait and put some little vents in a mold, and then print that. It really makes you appreciate guys like Mickey Ellis that did all this shit when there wasn't anything on the internet. You know what I mean? Hold on. Which I had Jake make these back in the day, and These were like really early on. These are probably, this mold's probably 7, 8 years old, at least. But this one had some design flaws in it. But like I said, he didn't know what he was. I mean, he knew what he was doing, but not like really, because he was still learning. I didn't know shit. But the biggest issue with this one is that the pour hole is in the nose, and then it destroys all the beautiful facial part of the bait. Having to sand it all off, but I would just like to be able to make that. Jeremy, I don't get it either. I mean, sure, Mickey can be a dick. We all know that. But you can't deny the talent the guy has. Jay, what's going on, dude? Kyle, are you Kyle Zeller on Instagram, or do you have another handle? Instagram kept blinking off. Yeah, I don't know what the I don't know much about the materials. I guess it would what it would need to be printed on, or with like something smooth that gave the exact representation of what we have going on here. But the biggest thing that I see, the difference in like a production style, like 3D printed mold, is that I don't know how resin would pour in aluminum. And I would think you'd have to start using inserts for stuff like that. Because like this, the tail has a hole in it. So with silicone, you can flex it and pull the bait out. But I guess if you were using aluminum, you would have to have a piece milled to put into the mold to block this off. Yeah, that's the other thing good about silicone is nothing sticks to it. I don't know. I've often thought about that. Why, if it's just cost that prohibits guys from using aluminum for resin, or if it's or what the story is. I would think aluminum would be awesome, but I don't know. I mean, then he'd never have to make another mold. Yeah, I think that's the deal, Jeremy. Is like, no matter what beef people have with Mickey on a personal level, I think from a business level, like a business standpoint, like the dude takes orders, he delivers them on time or early. Like, you know, what he pretty much tells you is going to happen. He says, "Hey, you buy a bait from me on a pre-order. It's going to be ready in October. That son of a bitch is going to be. It's in October. You're going to get a bait." Yeah, I mean, I know he's fixed baits for people, and he don't mess with paint or anything. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the beef is. Morgan says, I don't know how aluminum would work. I think the resin has some expansion or contraction that I don't know would be compatible versus silicone. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Morgan, I don't know if it would be better. Because as it's expanding, it would probably have nowhere to push air or trap air. So it's expanding, and it would maybe have to push that out better. I don't know. Jay, I should. That's what I was thinking. It would. It would just vent out of the pour spout or the vents or whatever. Um, but the biggest thing I see with these handmade molds that is the worst part to me is that right around the edge of the bait, if it's not like 100% like glass smooth, over the course of the life of pouring baits, it always wants to grab right there and pull silicone out and kill your mold. Um, I think that's the worst part. It's amazing how much like better Marty Burns, what's happening? How much better a 3D printed mold pours and lasts compared to a handmade one. Speaking of Mickey, that's one dude I'd love to see his operation. I know I've talked about it before, but his mold making stuff, like, you know, I like to see how he goes about making molds, pouring molds, all that kind of stuff. Oh, low power. Plug us in. I plan to ship you a batch of the loudest walking baits I've ever heard in 2 weeks. I can handle that. Yeah, that's the other thing, Morgan. You'd have to be really careful about your demold time. Uh, I would like to know. Oh, the Legos. The Legos are actually really smart, because what the Legos do is they allow you. So when you're building a box, so in order for me to make this into a mold, I'll have to build up equal side wall on the other side for the silicone to go into. So what the Legos do are just allow you to go from this to a uh, to a built-up wall, however big you want it to be, and it's just, I mean, it's a little more versatile. You can change things and you know, make stuff higher or lower without having to like go cut wood or go cut whatever material. Um, Kyle, yeah, I'd try that. Morgan, Kyle said he's got a aluminum soft plastic mold. I could try to pour resin in it. It's not gonna fuck it up, is it? Morgan, they're coming soon, according to Burns. According to the man with the knife. Hella, make that money, dude. Kyle, I mean, it is aluminum. I feel like that'd be really hard to dick up. I need to order one of those. It's time. So Jersey, I'm molding the tail section of my gill. It's the one that gives me like that. I never have problems out of the head section. The tail section's always giving me issues because of right here on the back right corner. I always get a bubble, and I haven't found out a good way to vent it yet. Or like I was trying to use inserts where I put like a piece of aluminum in here and like stick that in the mold every time, but um, that just got annoying because I was having to clean off the damn thing every time, and it didn't work efficiently for me. Tried a couple different other little methods, and nothing has worked great so far. So the best one I found is to, rather than pour it from the top, just pour it straight down from the top. That way there's no air to be trapped. The only place air can get trapped is on up here, and I can vent that. So hell, are you going to a good lake or a shitty lake? Kyle, I think resin will probably heat up to, I'm guessing, sub 200s. Jeremy, I was noticing on my, I was watching Hella live last night or 2 nights ago, whenever it was. I guess it was last night. The YouTube smart TV on LG's has updated to where you can see the comments on the TV. Damn, it's hot in here. Could you make some clay and apply it to that spot on the back to help them make the understanding? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I've researched and researched and researched and done. I mean, I've done just about every pouring technique you could think of, tilting the mold and banging it around and, you know, heating it up and everything, and I still get that spot. And I don't. This pouring it this way is a little more cleanup, but not bad. The good thing about, I mean, I really do like this way of pouring. The only issue with it is that you have to drill your holes for the hangers to hook in the joint. You have to drill those after the fact, which isn't terrible. I don't mind it. I know most guys that build a lot of baits don't do that. So I rather have the body work to be done inside here, where it's not as noticeable than like on that back of the bait or somewhere else. So, and I'm guessing that's how Mickey pours all his baits. They're either from the bottom, or they're in the. He pours all of them from the joint. I don't know though. I've never seen him pour bait, but I'm just theorizing from looking at his baits and how clean they are. South Jersey, I mean, I've got any kind of vent hole I could think of, like right at that spot. And the problem is you can't vent right there because it's completely inside the mold. I mean, maybe if I really knew what I was doing, I could. I don't know. I don't know. If I was a 10-year mold, I'd probably say, oh, that's easy. East Tennessee is accepting vendors. Is it the same price, AJ, or have they gone up? Are you going, AJ? Thought about doing that, Morgan. I haven't tried that yet, where I just pour that section separate and then smash it together. And it's just such a time suck pouring that little bit of resin just to do that, like one section. I don't know. Jeremy, I didn't. I was watching Hilla, I believe. I have to go back and watch the Hackney cast. What did he give up? AJ, you mean there wasn't anybody working for you there wasn't anybody making you money while you were gone? Kyle, what's up, dude? South Jersey, I did. I thought that was a good read. I love it when stuff like that happens, so I get a good chuckle out of the comments. Those of you who don't know, Andrew Hinkle just posted an update that his year-old pre-order is now shipping, and some people's baits from like last September are going out. We'll see. We'll see. There we go. This will work. I really loathe doing this. Tool of choice. Hell, I did have a good crowd last night. Tool of choice right now, glue stick. Ran out of PTO. Yeah, I know what happens. It happens, AJ, unfortunately. I'm hoping this one works. AJ, what kind of hooks would take 2 years for you to get? That's the other thing, Jeremy, you bring up. Like, people know Mickey. You know what I mean? Mickey's like a real person. Like, Andrew, like, is like the Wizard of Oz, dude. He's like, dude isn't like visible. Like, you don't, like, if Andrew Hinkle walked in my office right now, I wouldn't have a clue who he was. But Mickey walked in, like, Mickey shows his face. Like, people know who Mickey is. He, like, you know what I mean? He's not under this like cloak of mystery. So if you got shit with Mickey, you know who he is. You know what he looks like. And like I said, none of that is like business related. I feel like it's all personal shit with Mickey. You know, if you throw your bait into a bridge and it breaks, and you send a picture to Mickey and you're like, hey, my bait's broken, and he tells you to eat a dick, learn how to cast, wouldn't really surprise me. I mean, the dude knows like what it takes to break a bait and how they break and all that kind of shit, and what his products are capable of. I'm sure there's been some maybe cases of that. I don't know, but I don't know. I don't know what all the individual beefs are with Mickey, but I feel like from running 316, he does an excellent job at that. I like Mickey. I've talked to Mickey a lot. Years for eagle claws. I find that staggering. Tyler, I saw that. I tried to find that video and I couldn't find it, but they said he was giving him hell. I caught. I don't know how, because I don't follow that dude, the Lake Fork dude, and that was some. I don't even know what you would call that. Where did it get posted, Tyler? That's what, because I went to the first place I went after I watched the video was Texas Fishing Forum. I was like, these guys will be talking about it, and then then somebody was talking about the Facebook video, and Mickey, like, you know, going to town on it, and I was like, man, I'd like to find where that video is, but drama indeed. Andrew's too busy jogging. You heard Mickey talk about it on live? I haven't seen Mickey do a live in a while. I don't know that, man. You didn't screen capture it, Tyler? Oh, Lake Fork guy. Yeah. Not Lake Fork guide. Lake Fork guide. Your Lake Fork guide. Yeah, that was. Kyle, I don't think it's by chance. Yeah, that's what I they were talking. I saw it on Swimbait Universe last night. Guys were talking about the guys doing pre-orders. Like, I guess UFO did a pre-order, and it's like 300 baits or something, 54 grand. Done in October, supposedly. It's like, man, that's quite a shot of cash. that I don't want any part of. I do not want $50,000 of other people's money with them staring at their watch going, where's my bait? 1 week. But I feel like if you gave till October, that's a couple months. Like, I know I couldn't do it, but if you had if your molds were set up and you could pour, if you could pour and paint 25 baits a week, would that make it in time? Would you be able to finish it? That's the thing, though. You'd have to like you would have to hit that number every week. I mean, if you've got molds set up, that's the thing, is you can't have anything fuck up. Like, you can't have get down on molds and have a mold blowout and not have a backup. Like, you're gonna have like triple backups for everything. Yeah, I'm assuming that Andrew Hinkle doesn't make his living making baits. Tackle Warehouse put them in their 25 days of Christmas sale again this past year. And you still didn't get them. Jimmy, what's up? The runt is still a work in progress. I got to reprime it. Got all the little pinholes. That's what goes on under the scenes. Okay, let's see if that's right. That's what happens when you take paint off of resin, and you get to see what really lies beneath the paint. So prime this again, and then do another little filler and see how it looks. Should be ready to paint by then. Yeah, it's looking like something. It looks like something. Probably makes his money in hauntings and other ghostly activities. Probably. Hey. Jimmy, no big deal, dude. I'm just trying to make it look good. I'm just trying to salvage the damn thing, so it didn't get sent to the damn boneyard. We have 6 on YouTube, 14 on Instagram. Wow, that's a lot. Jeremy, no. I didn't realize I had to go specs on how you power them and that kind of shit. So I got to get power run. Luckily, it's been raining here, and the house has been cool. Same usual. That's right. Yeah, that would be cool to have a a bait restoration channel where you just sit there and you take a really beat up bait and you're like, all right, I'm gonna make this thing look brand new. It would suck to do, but if you had some time on your hands, it would certainly be possible. Because that's the biggest issue with any type of bait restoration is we're not talking about a car, we're not talking about an antique. At the end of the day, it's a fishing lure. But if you're working on an antique, it's the same amount of time as working on a swim bait. So, you know, the thing about a smaller type, like if I took some sort of old wooden whatever bait, like a little topwater or something, and it was all dicked up and wood was chipped out and destroyed, like you could spend hours and hours and hours and hours on that thing, and at the end of the day, what are you left with? You know what I mean? You've got 10 hours in a little wood fishing lure because it looks cool. And that's, I mean, it's not really worth the time for the bait unless it's like a personal bait or something like that. But like I said, some guy that just doing that kind of stuff and did it at night through a little YouTube channel, that'd be cool. If I had 300,000 followers on here, getting a little money, 500,000 followers, whatever, you can you just do that. You could do you could be like a little Marling Baits, but restoration. And it'd be cool because you could have people send in baits like destroyed baits. Can you fix this? I'll try. How to repair a Vision 110 lip. That would probably be a good video. Tim Maynard, how goes it? But who knows? Conceivable. How are y'all in a drought, dude? We are getting hammered. Oh yeah, I had a nice chat with the bean last night. She said, "Egg, egg, egg." That's how she pronounces egg, 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 egg. I was like, "You want an egg?" And she was like, "Yes." I said, "All right." Let me confirm this. If I cook you this egg, you are going to eat it, correct? Yeah. So, all right, again, if I cook this egg for you, you want to eat it. Yeah. Cook the egg, handed it to her. No egg, no egg, no egg. Okay. Kyle, yes, I need 500,000 subs or 300,000 or even 100,000. And yeah, we can have fun. I wouldn't have to do all the same shit. I could diversify my portfolio a little bit. I could do the shit I used to do when I was like 25, where you just sit around and like dream up cool stuff. The good old days of bait painting and making. I did do some random stuff over the last day, just for sport. Can't see. I want to make a jointed swimmer. It actually swam really good. And I also wanted a big topwater. To confirm, yes, this is number 2. Those were fun. What swim bait would cause a big controversy if you painted it? Kyle, the only one I can think of is probably maybe that KGB frog that there's like 5 of. That would probably piss some people off, especially if I painted it like pink. Nah, I've painted tons of mothers. I've painted tons of pats. I don't know. I really don't think that there's a bait out there in that category of like high end stuff that I haven't painted. I've painted KGBs. I've painted like all that Japanese shit. Like all those really like limited. Or whatever that dude's name is. I'm trying to think. I really don't think there's anything at this point that would like shock people. Like I painted a mother and put those. Yeah, there's a little stigma about painting 316s, but I've thrown some badass paint jobs on 316s. I haven't done a tater hog in a while. I used to get those pretty regular. Haven't got one in a while. Trying to think. Trying to think. Yeah, I don't think such a bait exists. Oh, I did cherry blossoms on a mother. Anything I haven't painted that I'd want to? A fish, like a taxidermied fish. Yeah, that was back when I was in Austin. I painted the cherry blossoms on a mother. I'd like to have that one to redo again. Trying to think. I don't think there's anything in the bait world that I look at and I'm like, man, I'd really like to paint one of those. What else? Kyle, I did have that idea where I was going to take that. I've got this fish up on my wall. I was going to take. I was going to do. I was going to do like an old. Take all these old, like skin mounted bass, and then just put like really. Like put crankbait colors on them. Like paint the fish like I'd paint like a crankbait, or you know, a lure. Like do like a chartreuse black largemouth bass, or something really bright where it would like stick out, or do like some sort of like splatter back and like do it real like kind of in the vein of maybe like a graffiti type vibe. That was what my vision was, to have it as like, you know, an art installation. But like I said, you don't get to do fun shit like that. Pipe dream. But I do have this little guy. I was given this fish to do my taxidermist who mounts my deer. He had this fish that was like, I don't know, 10 years old. I think I'm getting into taxidermy, Josh. My taxidermist gave me this because I was talking about painting a fish. I was like, you got any old shitty fish laying around? And he's like, get that brim over there. He's like, that thing's been here for like 10 years. Dude never picked it up. I was like, you want money for it? And he's like, no, just take it. So he gave me this. And I want to do a refurb on this one. But I don't want to do that one like wild colors. I'd rather do a bass in wild colors. I mean, the bluegill would actually be kind of cool. Tim, sorry, I will paint over a baby bass killer bee faster than you can damn say 316. A lot more cranks out there that you shouldn't paint over. AJ, what would you consider a bait that you would not like to paint over? Oh, Tim. I thought I added to the pot recently of killer bee paint overs. Ronnie B should not be painted over. A simple craw hickey should not be painted over. Original big O, that would be a good one. Because that's like original big O. I'd paint over a baby big. I don't give a shit. I wouldn't want to paint over a big O. Cost to paint a Swimbait, it depends. For me, $60, 55, 60. Depends on what I'm doing. Weird crawl Rapalas. I wouldn't. I've probably painted over them. I wouldn't even know. Bob Allen prototypes that I wouldn't want painted over. Yeah. Trying to think. I mean, I don't like painting over Ed's baits. Like, I mean, there's enough WCs out there, and I've painted a bunch of them. I don't love it, but I'll do it. Wee bait, yeah. But the thing about a wee bait is a wee bait looks like everything matches the wee bait. The way it's built, the foil, like it looks like a wee bait. Like a wee bait with a paint job on it would look like ass. It'd be totally stupid. Oh yeah, those are the ones that certainly don't need to be painted over. No, I think painting over one of Wes's baits would be a total waste of time, just because I could put, you know, all due respect to West England, but I could put the best, most flawless paint job, and it would still look like ass. You know what I mean? Like the bait isn't flawless to begin with, so I could put on my Sunday vest and go and paint this bait over the course of like 2 hours and make it as flawless as I could, and it still like wouldn't look that great. Fred Young, no, it'd be hard to paint over Fred Young, but nobody sent me one of those yet. Be kind of cool though. That would stir up some shit. That would stir up some shit. Mikey Step, yeah. Oh, yeah, painting over like a drip bait or a riddle bait or any of those kind of things. I actually have, believe it or not. And it was Josh. It was actually pretty titillating that you've got what is considered, some of the best painted and built baits in the world. Cover that shit up and put your stuff on it. All right. Let's see. Correct, Morgan. That's a good way of putting it. There are better canvases to paint on. But Jeremy, I've never painted a reel. I never could. I've got reels I wanted to paint, but I could never settle on the color because I knew it was going to be permanent, and I didn't want to have to strip the reel again. And I kept looking at it, and I was like, maybe I'll make it look black, or like, because I wanted to paint one of my Corrados. I was like, maybe I should paint this thing black. I was like, no, if I do that, I paint it black, then it'll look like a damn Black Max or something. And I don't know. And I was always too lazy to take them apart. Like I never wanted to completely like dismantle my reel. Tim, don't do it. Morgan, I'd blast over that shit in a heartbeat, dude. Those mean nothing to me. It's still over here. I actually wasn't happy with that paint job, Marty, and I think I'm going to redo it. It's over here. Damn it. I got to get these lights fixed. I got to figure out some lighting. It is pretty badass, though. So it's not in person, Daniel. It's probably the lighting in here. It's very there. You can kind of see it shine, and it hadn't been clear coated. See if I can turn. See if I can turn a little light on, so it flashes. There you can see it. There you can see it. But I wasn't. I liked it, but I wasn't. I didn't like it enough to clear it. This one got clear coated. That one's badass. Jay, I don't remember what you sent me. That's typically what I charge, $55. It's amazing what clear coat will do for that shit. You like that, AJ? Instagram's sticking? I wonder what's up with that. I'm secretly glitching it so everybody comes to the YouTube side. Back color shifts. Yeah, that was cool. Oh, that's fine, Jay. I'll give you much many dollars. Then I wouldn't have anything on my wall if I started selling my personal stash. Then I wouldn't have any cool shit to show off. Oh. South Jersey is not the easiest thing. I've done it on me and a buddy out in Austin, Ron, uh, put some on a hinkle. Um, and if you go way back, I think it's on my Instagram. I don't know if I ever posted it, but we did a white abalone hinkle. It might have been a trout, dude. Um, it might have been a trout. It was huge. I think it was a trout. So abalone, the whole trout up until the gill plate, and then I did like these light green bars down the side, and the back and the belly were white. Dude, it was beautiful. The only problem with it was that the bait kind of looked like shit to begin with, um, but it was a badass bait. Yeah, everybody stay away from the back door. AJ, are you tired of eating walleye? My prototyping is really crude. I'm glad nobody gets to look at this in person. Uh, yeah, it's a 3-piece. Yeah, I don't like how exposed the joints are here. Um, but like I said, this is probably a 6, 7 year old. It's probably longer than 6 years. It's probably 7 or 8 year old, 7 or 8 year old mold that I just pulled out to play with. Looking back, I don't like it. Um, but this one was fun. Pretty bait. The profile. See if I can out 6 cents, 6 cents, and start running auctions on my website. Uh, Morgan, did you hear me say I would blast Norm's bait and not even think twice about it? South Jersey, I've got something special for that walking bait. I have something special for it. Those of you that know about the scales, Morgan knows. That's what it's getting. Yeah, the big walker. I thought about doing some of these. I didn't know what the. I mean, I don't. Who makes a big walker? Phony. Um, what's his name? Uh, Vic makes one. I don't know if he makes them often, but I don't know who. Like besides a punker, um, what else can you get in the big walking bait world? Elude, Black Dog, JBC. Are those available? Like, could you go buy them on their website right now? 2.5 ounces. Like, what can you actually go buy besides a punker? So there's not really that much available. So then I guess it would be worth it to maybe put some out. I don't know that you can get the wood ones regularly, AJ. I know you can get the plastic ones, but I think the plastic ones aren't even that big. So maybe there isn't that. I mean, I wouldn't do a ton of them, but I'd like to do some. Just mainly because I really want to paint them. But it's a good profile. And the way I had this one weighted is really interesting. The walking action on it. It was like it had like a. It was really cool. I don't know if I couldn't get it to like something needed to happen to where I could like replicate that action every time, but it didn't walk like that every time, but it would. So I got to catch that lightning in a bottle. But what would happen was when you would twitch the rod, it would shoot over, but it would almost it had like this little bump action. Like it'd knock over and then it would like go an extra like really wide. Like a regular Zaraspook walks like that, right? Like it would do that where its head would knock over, but once it went over, it would like do this secondary little like shoot off. And I was looking at it and I was like, damn, that's badass. How can I make it do that every time? So well, maybe I'll do some of these then. Maybe I'll do some big topwaters. If I can figure out how to get that if I can figure out how to get that action stuck to it. I probably can't, but I would like to try and capture that action, but we'll see. We shall see. Spud Stud Walker that Matt McBee makes is pretty cool. They're hard to get to. Megabass Mega Dog and Strike King Big Sexy Dog. So you got a handful of. What about the Amazon? Are those still available or are those discontinued? Super Sammy 190. I have not. Yeah, it would glide out after the head twitched. It was really interesting, Jeremy. Like you'd twitch it and it'd shoot over, like it'd turn its head, but then it would like It was like a duck and run. It was really interesting, and it wouldn't dive under the water. It would just kind of like shoot over, like it would move all the body over, and then it would just like slide out. It was like two different movements. Like you'd hit it, move the head, and then it would slide. Um, yeah, Kyle, I'm not really. That's the thing is that like I try and stay off of universe. I don't. You know what I mean? Like it's bad for business that I do, but I don't want like I didn't want to be on Instagram honestly because I when I first started I knew it's like all right you get on here and you start showing pictures and like people see your shit and then the next thing you know somebody's like ooh that's cool let me paint it and then like I didn't want that I just wanted to paint cool stuff and like show it to the people that weren't going to rip it off. But uh, you know, so I try not to invite as much of that as I can. Uh, so I just hang around here, and you know I don't want to get on a bunch of Facebook groups and be like, hey, look at this, look at this. Like I don't want people to see it. But if you get on my uh, post from last night on Instagram and you read the comments, some guy was like, "Watch me try and make this." Mm, please don't. Like the dude's like blatantly telling me I'm gonna rip your bait off. Like, watch me do it. Thanks, AJ. Rip off away. Rip off away because I've got 500 bone iridescent purple spooks coming out. I'm gonna flood the market. No, that's the funny thing about those posts, Jeremy, is like all the people who are like really good at it and like have been doing it for a while and have like good reputations don't get don't get named in any of those posts. Uh, I used to go through and if I'd see a if I'd see like who paints baits posts, I'd always tag Bill Barton. Um, just because I'd read through the comments and nobody would like mention him. I'm like, what planet are we living on? And you know what I mean? That like somebody asked for a bait painted and doesn't like mention Bill Barton. So I guess this is absurd. So because Bill's the shit. I don't know him, but his paint jobs are cool. There's some things I don't like about him, but that's why I paint. AJ, you're being sweet. You're being humble. AJ, what's your biggest shortcoming as a painter? What would you like to improve upon? I agree, Jeremy. And not to toot my own horn, but half the like the bluegills out there now, the stencils are derivatives of my bluegill stencils. AJ's just going for the money grab, just trying to spray 3 colors and call it good. Call it Picasso's. Stripe the back and splatter it and say, look at this magic I just made. Tim said his biggest shortcoming is, as a painter, is he ain't one. I'm trying to think what I'd like to improve on in the painting world. Do I have one of Marty's big wake baits on hand to show? Big wakes. Hold, please. There's his glider. Morgan, you're right. And that's the funny thing about it is, like we were talking about, like guys that are new and don't follow any of this shit, like all these dickheads buy the same stencil. They're like, oh, that guy's a badass. It's like, no, he's not. Like the hard part isn't, like the hard part was getting to the point to, like, how can I explain this? So when you like grow at whatever you're doing, when I first got started, I would like take tape and I would mask off bars and I would paint that as my gill marks. Well, then as I like developed as a painter, that wasn't good enough. So I had to like cut stencils. And I would cut out a stencil that like looked like some little squiggly lines and like started using that. And like as I developed as a painter, like my stencils developed and like eventually they got to the one that I still use now. But that was all from me like developing through learning how to paint and what I needed. Now you can take all those years of like me growing and like, you know, getting to that point. Now you can buy that and be at that point. So, you know, what took me like years to kind of like grow into is, you know, you can go buy from some dickhead on the internet. Find faults and Marty, I just see things differently. I don't find it's not a fault. Splattering isn't cool. You got to bring back. You gotta make splattering popular again, AJ. But like Morgan, when I first came out with like my gill paint I put on swimbaits now, like there wasn't anything out like that, and it stood out. And I mean, it still does, but like it was really, you know, there wasn't anybody else doing anything like that. But now you can buy that stencil, and it looks pretty close to what my bluegills look like. Yeah, that's where you notice it, Morgan. Is you can look at the paint job and tell it's not that refined. Like you can give these guys the best stencils and there is, and you can still tell that their techniques are pretty much lacking. That they're just taking colors and blasting the back and throwing a stencil on it and saying, "Oh, look what I did." It lacks it lacks any kind of heart and soul. You know what I mean? Because like I think that's the difference is that like when you like develop a style and you like you know grow into something, it's got heart and soul to it. But if you just learn how to spray like paint out of a gun and you just go out and buy stencils and spray through all that shit, like you have no soul. You're just like a dude blasting paint through a stencil. And you can see it. I mean, they're dead. They're just like you know it, and it's really funny. You see, especially the model stencils that guys use. They're so overused, and they use them in like the wrong places on baits that don't even need it. And I think they just use them because they've got them, and people see them on other baits, and they're like, "Oh, I've got this stencil. I just need to spray something through it." Um, and and I think that's what you see now in the custom painted world is guys just hoard all the stencils they can, and then they just like blast through them, and like they they just don't know what they're doing. Um, Amy, who's a legit loser? Banderuola Designs. He makes some killer baits. I don't know why, but he baits catch some tank fish. I must so much for canine. Is he? Where is he from? Yeah, so I mean that's the nature of it. Um, hey Jay, I'm with you. I didn't like. I don't know. I still to this day. Um, I bought two stencils. I bought I bought one which was totally dumb, but the guy wanted he had some wiggle warts, some uh, he had some wiggle warts that he wanted done in like a stock wiggle wart color. So I bought the 3D stencil that was the wiggle wart stencil, um, and they came out like that was cool to be able to like get pretty close to the storm stencil. Um, but I wouldn't use that to like paint up a million wiggle warts and put on my website. But if somebody wants to bring back a wiggle wart to like an original wiggle wart color, I'll use that just because it like looks the part. Um, but besides that, I think I bought some little bullshit stencil to paint one minuses um, for Eric. It's just a few. It wasn't that great. I wasn't really happy with it. Uh, every stencil I've got, and I've got them all, dude. Like I've got every piece of shit. Like I can go get my box out there. If you want to see them, I'll go get them. But I've got pretty much every stencil I've ever cut from like day one. Because I still use parts of them. That's the other thing about them is I'll take parts of a stencil and the funny thing is I can remember them. Like I still, if I'm painting something, I can look back and be like, oh, I think I've got like part of what I'm looking for, and I'll like tape part of it up and make it look like something. Let me go get them. Let's go look through the history book. Hold on. Let's see. Yeah, Tim, I think that's no sound. Here's a recent one. Good old white bass. Here is bluegill. Haven't used this in some time. Classic. I don't need to show this one off. That's my I only use parts of this now. Dude, this one stencil has made me some damn money. Some little bars. How about this one? I don't use this often, but I do from time to time. Rainbow trout. There we go. Here's your crappie. And I don't use all these. Like I use them, but I don't use everywhere on the because I'll find like a spot I like and I'll just like use that one spot. I've had this since day one. This one I'll use to like shade gill plates. You can see the gill plate green. Here's an old craw. Dude, these things are abused, like used and abused. More bars. Ooh, this one was badass. This is my bluegill that got ripped off for little crankbaits. That one's got a lot of detail in it. More bars. Can't have too many bars. What else is in here? Holes. More holes. Weird little bluegill stencil. It sucks. I don't know what this thing is, but it was a waste of time. Like I said, I might revisit it one day and use it. That's my like big stuff basket. This is different trials of this is different trials and tribulations of trying to make the right. They may all look the same, but there was something about it I didn't like, so I kept trying it. I think that may be the one I finally settled on. Here's a weird little crawl. South Jersey? Nah, I just cut them. There's another one. There's my original one. Or not my original, but that was my... That was my standard crawl forever. Here is the Little Debbie stencil, the Little Debbie Christmas cake. There's another one of those. Another one of those. I mean, I got crawls everywhere, dude. Here's a little bitty crawl I did. That was kind of cool. There is I had to do a Jackal remake. Dude wanted the baits to look. I guess he was sponsored by Jackal, and he wanted his custom paints to look like Jackal paint jobs. So there's the Jackal crawl. There's another crawl. Shad dots, bluegill marks. Lines, fins, more fins, trout heads, everything. This is just the stuff I use. Where's the box? Bass, bluegill. I cut this for a psycho gill I did. Y'all might have seen that, the all white psycho gill. That was the markings for that. That one came out cool. I might paint one of my baits up to look like a baby bass. But like shit like this, it may look like trash to some. I keep it. I used to. This is probably one of the earlier stencils that I ever cut. I think that was my bluegill. Then I moved. I can all my early stuff I cut on this blue stuff. It was really hard to cut, but that's probably some of my earliest stencils. Was on that. Oh, this might have been the first stencil. It's like the bandit crawl marks. Need to crawl on a swim bait? Bluegill. I cut this to do teeth on a fighter jet. This one has all kinds of bullshit on it. This one was from the lady called me and she wanted a gift for her dad, a bait, and she wanted it painted like her birthstone. or his birthstone, which was like a ruby or something. So I cut all these little shapes and painted all these little geometrical patterns on the bait to make it look like a stone. Did I not charge her enough and it was a waste of time? Yes, but I kind of felt like doing it. So fin, I need to put this in the fin box. It's actually a pretty decent looking fin. What's funny is you look at these and like you probably recognize some of them from baits. This is what I used for maybe like a rock bass or something. For whatever reason, I needed some little, I guess that's a gill or something. Who knows? Walk down memory lane. Probably never going to see this one out again. That thing looks terrible. Well, so much for that. Show and tell over. Let's see. I missed a bunch of comments. Tim, you're right. There is not enough respect. But it's really amazing how people don't see it that way. Hell, that I've got another box that's the size of this one that's full too. It's my really bad ones. Like those are my I might use stencils. The right shape? What do you mean? Like the shape of the actual paper? Or like the shape of what's in there? Most of them you have to cut. It depends on what the stencil is, but a lot of them you have to cut in a way so you can wrap them around whatever bait you're trying, or get them to lay decently flat, as flat as you can. Tim, I see it a lot. It's no good. I mean, the only way you can really be okay with a stencil is if the bait's flat, because then you can get your bait to lay down. But trying to wrap a bait around, trying to wrap a stencil around a bait that's round is not an easy task. The shape of the body you are applying the stencil to. Left-handed. Is that like a left-handed cigarette? No, that would be nice. if I had a if I had some sort of design skills, I could probably do that. But dumbass me uses one side for everything. I do get kind of wonky when you have to switch hands. Like you paint one side of the bait and it feels good, and then you switch sides and you have to use the same way, but it's like a completely different angle on the bait. There's always one good side to a bait. We have to get. I mean, anybody that paints knows that. I will bust the bubble of all painters. You heard it here. Every bait has a good side. Every bait. AJ, you are correct. Although sometimes I try and photograph the shitty side just so there's like not any surprises. But you know, you can always look at a bait and there's one side that's like the side. Josh's right sides are good, left sides suck. I typically like my left sides. My left sides of my bait are typically better. Don't know why. Maybe because I'm left-handed. But I airbrush right-handed, so it doesn't make any sense either. Don't know. But I don't know. I don't know why that is. But sounds like another T-shirt. Every bait's got a good side. Jeremy, I've never been a big fan of the mistake style. One fish on one side, one fish on the other. And the paint looks better on the right side. Maybe. I don't know. I'm neither, Marty. Like I said, I write left-handed and airbrush right-handed. So who knows? Who the hell knows? Blue steel. Kyle, correct. I am bass backwards. If I had to pick my top 3 discontinued crankbaits to use for a year, what would they be? Discontinued. Oh yeah, I did do that one. It's in the office. The shad, the walker. Damn it! That one. I've got something I'm trying to do with that body besides like just making a solid top water out of it that I can't figure out. It's giving me fits, but 3 baits discontinued. I think what else discontinued. Probably original Balsa B3. I mean, probably just be Bagley. Like, just give me Bagley. Give me a Balsa B3, Lead Lip Killer B2, and whatever else. Later, Rich. would almost pick a BDS over RC 2.5. Maybe not though. Discontinued. Like I wouldn't want a wiggle wart. I don't give a shit about a wiggle wart. I guess you need something in the mid range or deep range, but I don't know of anything that's deep that's been discontinued. Are the new ones ass, Josh? I kept seeing them where they were like bringing out different BDSs for like $6 or whatever, but I didn't know if they were shitty or not. Ooh, Hackney was talking about old Backlys last night. That's good. I'll have to go tune into that. Discontinued lipless XR50. Yeah, I'm not a lipless guy though. 100% ass. That's good. That's good to know. I really don't have one. Daiwa TD Pro. Crankbait though. I'm looking for a mid-range crankbait that got discontinued. Is the Strike King Series 4 still available? Killer B1, WC1, and a Big Bud. Old deep blue lens are good. I bought a bunch of these. I bought these from a guy last week on Facebook Marketplace. He had a lot of deep baby ends. I bought 20 of them. Josh, you mean this is a waste to have them on my keychain of Mistake and Taco Salad? These shouldn't be here. I guess this is where I hung all my flat maxes and my Mountain Dew Deep Little Lens that broke the bill off of it. I could actually probably sand this and make it actually fish again. Series 4 is good bait. The blueback, white size, and red throat. Did that one catch them? I do like the old Normans. Like the only thing, Logan Martin train wreck. How about that? That's pretty awesome. I love it when like weird shit like that like catches on and it's like it catches them and it's like a good bait. The damn Stars and Bars Bandit Flat Max. Jeremy, go raid the boxes. It's funny you say that, Tim. It's very true. Like back in the day, you're like, oh, I'm gonna go deep cranking. Let me pull out my deep little end. because it says deep, so that means deep. 100 deep little ends. Deep We Are was good. Let me guess what your favorite color is. I have a box of Deep Baby ends straight from Norman, probably 14 years ago. That are off for I maybe never painted. That's interesting. Tim, is that your favorite color? Whatever that's called. I feel like that's the best-selling color of Norman ever made. Violet shad or something like that. I don't know if it's violet. It's something else. Lavender shad. Lavender shad. That's what it is. My favorite was always Green Joe Scale in a DD14. Where's that thing at? I thought I had them hanging up on the wall. I used to. Over there. That one. That thing is the damn sauce. That son of a buck right there will catch you a bass. I wish I could send all these off and have them repainted in that color. Fire Tiger. The glittery ones are the shit, though. But the Deep Baby ends, well, they don't look like much. No, I never got into the Chartreuse Blue gel coat. Well, here's one. This is just from this. I didn't like, for whatever reason, it just didn't. I guess this is the crappie, the deep crappie, or the tiny. Straight pearl with glitter. And probably I've got these two. I got these two lavenders. I'm going to leave them as is. I got really excited too when I got these baits, and they were pretty cheap, and the dude had put bronze gamakatsus on a handful of them. Sweet. Needs to sit in the sun for about an hour and not bust. The true test of if a Norman's good or not. Jeremy said he's watched DD22s on live, and they really don't get that deep. I can believe that. Boy, they probably get 15, 16 feet. I got some of the old, the big ends. I took some old butyrate big ends. Threw a little simple crawl on them. But that's a butyrate, Norman. If you get a DD22 past 16 feet, I'd swear you were trolling. I could believe that. That's why I always like the DD14, because it would dive like, it wouldn't get to 14, it'd get to like 8. Oh yeah. That's my childhood. I had this in middle school. This is my childhood spitting image. I don't know why it's got this stupid feather on it, because it killed the section of it. But it's something you don't see often on these Excalibur baits. The clear coat's so fucking hard, it's almost impossible to rash through one. But actually was able to, after a lifetime of fishing, get a little, see a little plastic. But that was the childhood spitting image. Like I said, I don't typically like a rush your bike on with one stuck in your head. Still have the spook you caught your first keeper bass on Toledo Bend on. That's pretty awesome. Was it bullfrog or was it a shad color? I've got some speed shads I've painted. If it's not in 3 boxes, I'm not looking, but speed shed. Castell. Old XR. There's your frenzy. Got a little something of everything in here. So here's a good example of painters getting started today versus, not to sound like an old man, but back when I was a kid, back when I was coming up painting. That's what you cut yourself to make look like a bluegill when you first got started. Now, you just go buy the shit and it looks like a damn factory paint job. Sickening. Josh, if you're still there, about this bait, I forgot who it was from, but you'll probably Sammy craze. And this bait, and it was a Sammy knockoff, but I forgot the company. And they sold them around Birmingham and Tuscaloosa. And it was just a Sammy knockoff. But dude, people used to talk about these things like It was like Get Bit Baits. It wasn't Get Bit Baits. It was something like that. But they made this knockoff, and they had these giant triple grips on them. But dude, everybody used to talk about these damn things. It is the Balsa Pro. Might be in this box. This might be the box. Tim, does that make your bean jump? Are we talking Tim's language now? Dude, I used to throw this color for whatever reason. I always thought it was going to be so good. It's like tan with a blue back and a little bar. I used to throw it up on Logan Martin, Josh, when I'd fish the Woods and Water solo trail shit. And I bought these just to take to Logan Martin just because I thought they'd be really good on Logan Martin. And I never caught shit on them. It's probably because I didn't know where to fish on Logan Martin, but and then I went through that phase where I thought I was David Fritz throwing the 1 ounce spot. I don't know where that speed shed is. Some thin fins. The big old Magnum one. And a little one. He's probably get bit. Oh, here we go. Norman Reflector in the pack. That's a good one. I never could get bit on the small fry. Here's one for you. This is the juice box. This is the childhood little crankbait box. Oh, talk about juice, Josh. This is it. If I can get it out of this damn box. Louisiana Shad Deep Flat Max. Spring Crawl. Humblebee. I caught a few on that when I discovered Chartreuse Shad Bandit 200, which we used to always throw the Louisiana shad. But Josh, I think you're right. Like if you told me, hey dude, like uh, like that parrot or that one, 200. If you told me, hey dude, you gotta like survive, like you know what I mean, like you're gonna have to no gas, no food, you're gonna have to catch bass on the river in like a paddle boat, and I'm gonna give you one bait to throw from here on out. Bandit 200. Bandit 200 will keep you alive. But I got this bait from a khaki's a good color. I got this piece of junk. It's a Matsuo. Dude, I caught so many big ass spotted bass on this thing. It was a piece of junk bait, and it was a perch color, holographic perch. But they have literally eaten the foil off of this thing, and it was like a $1 bait. The other good one that I used to throw a ton was that Jan's Netcraft used to have a knockoff of the Deep Little End with recessed eyes, and we used to throw this hot mustard one. This thing would damn catch their ass. We used to throw wears early in the year a bunch. I was never in love. Like I'd throw it because we get bit on it, but I was never in love with it because I never loved it. I never liked the way it looked. Man, these are some damn relics. That one's got half the paint missing. Good old beat up Bandit 200, man. It's really interesting, Josh, when you talk about like stuff that was really good up there on the Coosa back in the day. Like stuff like that really interests me. For one, back when you were throwing like, you know, stars and bars, Bandit Flat Max, like nobody would have talked about that shit then. But now, like people don't mind talking about it. Like I love hearing about like all that like shit that people kept so like guarded. But because it's like so old and like technology's advanced and like baits have advanced, like people don't really give a shit about talking about it. But like, you know, that was all the like secrets that people kept from us back in the day that you either knew about or you didn't or whatever. But now you can like look back and be like, damn, that's like I had no idea people were like smashing, you know, bags on a damn Flat Max stars and bars Bandit. You know what I mean, No social media, true. No Risto wrap. I've got Risto wraps. The old Spro crankbait that looked like a juvenile bluegill. Probably if I saw it, but it's not sticking out in my head. It's not ringing a bell. Josh, does this blue clay give you anxiety? Old Spro crankbait. Is that when there was like, is that back in the day when Spro made like hair jigs and that was it? When like nobody gave a shit about Spro? Yeah, I gotta do my tail again. Marty, I feel like there would have been. Like they would have probably got out sooner or later, and there would have probably been some asshole that let it out before it should have been. But I feel like that's the way it usually happens. Is there's always, the key group of the core group of people that know about whatever it is. Say the Bandit Flat Max with the stars on it. There's like there's like 5 guys around your area that throw that thing and catch them. Somebody's gonna hear about it secondhand, and that's going to be the asshole that like blasts it out to everybody because it's not their little chicken they're incubating. You know what I mean? They like it's not their little baby. They don't care. Like they'll put it on blast. Um, yeah. See, I feel like it's never the guys that like really are like dialed in that are letting that shit out. It's like the dude that like walks by your boat and sees it in the bottom. He's like, "Oh, guess what I saw in Josh's boat." Um, I guess Spro made a good bucktail. I think I've got one. I don't fish bucktail, so I don't know what's a good one or not. Uh, Gosh, did that Spro catch him? Marty, that's a good point. Most of the guys that are out there hammering on with your baits, my baits, Josh's baits, anybody's baits, they're usually not the ones that are like crowing on Facebook or Instagram because they don't want people to know. It took me a while to figure it out. But eventually I started getting more and more people that would send me baits to paint or like uh, ask me not to post pictures of something or like, you know, hey, will you not like sell these to the public? Like, you know, whatever. Ugh. Threw them for wipers. You were just a multi-species guy from the get-go, AJ. You weren't a fisherman. You were a catcherman. See you later, Marty. I'm about to go finish this mold. Kyle, we get to 100K, no more secrets. They're all out. That's all you really need. If you can get a big enough social media following that information doesn't hurt you, like you can make more than that information to me would make me, like painting or fishing, whatever it may be. If I can make more telling about it than I can actually using that information, doesn't matter to me. You know what I mean? But until then, uh, you keep that shit to yourself. But like I don't see where it does guys any good to where they like take their life's work and they have 3 uh, followers on YouTube and they're like, I'm going to give up every bit of juice I've ever heard in my whole life. And it's like, you're really not gaining anything by that. You're actually probably, there's plenty of other stuff you could do. Spro Prime. Sometimes when people talk too much about a bait, it can affect its reputation. Morgan, I don't know. You probably would, because I don't know that I would make it a free for all. I would probably just privately message all the same people and be like, "Hey, I'm painting these," and I just like show them off. But I wouldn't like make a public display of sales. I would just have them and then sell them. Tyler, you're right. Most of the info is not original. It's not firsthand. I think that's the other thing that's really disgusting about social media and Facebook and YouTube and shit is like most of the shit people are spewing is regurgitated shit they heard from somebody else. It's not because they spent 20 years on the water learning. It's because like they read it in Bassmasters or like somebody told them or they watched a YouTube video about it. Like, and you can tell, like you can sniff those dudes out that are like, oh, yeah, if you want to go catch a rock bass, this is how you do it. And it's like, hey, what the fuck are you talking about? But back to your original point, South Jersey. Talking too much about a bait, yeah, I don't know. It's good for the bait, but I also think that people have completely lost the whole concept to form their own opinion about something. Like especially something as stupid as a fishing lure. Like I can understand if you don't want to buy $200 swim bait without seeing it swim. That makes sense. But like a $7 crankbait, like you see guys, oh, is this any good? It's like, dude, just go buy one and throw it. Like what I think is shit, you might think is awesome, and what you think is awesome, I might think is total shit. So, you know what I mean? There's still like just a handful of baits out there that like hold true. This a ding. Oh, but I feel like there's going to be some form of disappointment either way. You know what I mean? Like, and the other thing is like everything has its window. Every bait has its window. There's times out there where you could go and you can throw anything you want. Like it does not matter what color it is, how it wiggles. They're just hungry and you landed on them. And you throw your like Spro bucktail from 1996 out there and you snatch them. Like, it doesn't matter. But the days you buy whatever bait, you know, you spend some money on like some hand painted bait, you go out there on like the worst crankbait day of the year and you throw it for an hour and you're like, I didn't get a bite. This thing sucks. Yeah. Does it really though? Because some other dickhead went out there yesterday and like caught the shit out of them. So, I mean, you never can tell what's good and what's bad. Like, unless they break. Like, quality of it is pretty decent. Travis, you're full of shit. I ain't full of shit. I speak the truth. I'm the truth speaker. The soothsayer. Yeah, that's the other thing. If you get hit in the face with it too much, and then you're just kind of hesitant. You're like, oh well, this is kind of sounds like some bullshit. Magic baits that stumble on that make heroes. I could see that. What was it? I was looking at this. I've got a Bangalore over there, and it's really really ugly. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, I wonder if there's somebody out here that thinks this color is awesome. Like, they catch a bunch of fish on it, or is it like a color that's completely repulsive to fish that like catches way less fish? I feel like this bait, if you threw it a lot, it would just suck because of the color. I mean, you can't tell me this thing would be in any way appealing. Could you catch fish on it? Probably. Would a different color probably catch them better? I think so. This is an old one, real old, ancient, line through one. First run. Josh, where's my hiding in the tackle box? Let's see here. Here's my new spinnerbait box. Oh, that's not it. Would you swim that, Josh? With a Mr. Twister on it? That one? This is a Guggen, Tim. Bass Mafia. This is the I'm beta testing this one. This is the prototype. Fits neatly in my tackle bag. John D, do they though? Is there any sure every bait can probably catch a fish, but I wonder what are the, besides quality, like if they stay together, what is the worst? Is there a bait out there that fish just like refuse to hit? You know what I mean? That's just like really sucks. It's just like really unappealing to a fish. Dennis and Menace, what's up? Tim, that thing holds like 100 swim jigs, spinner baits, chatter baits, everything, dude. Pound for pound and size, that box holds more than any box on the market. Can you give a dog gas X? Probably. Helicopter lure? Weird novelty type baits that actually caught fish. Yes, the Kong, the Megabass Kong. Original Terminator. I had a hard time with the original Terminator. The arms broke off of mine. Cover your ears, Travis. I won't blast. Yeah, I gotta get off here. I've been here for damn 3 hours. Kyle, I've never fished for anything other than like bass and saltwater fish. See you, Josh. I think that was a helicopter lure, Kyle. Jay, that is the bait that I think fish refuse to bite. Contrary to popular belief, that bait that will not catch fish is the Ozeri Rattling vibe. I 100% cannot get bit on that bait. All right, guys. It's 3:48. I got to go finish this mold and pour it full of silicone. So y'all be good. Good talking to you. and we'll do it again. Thanks for the likes. Go over there and subscribe to the YouTube channel so we can break stuff and do more fun stuff. Y'all be good. Later, Kyle, Travis, Jay, John D, AJ. Anybody else creeping? Kyle, I gotta go back and read your comment. Y'all be good.